Again, big thanks to our sponsor. Go out to Twitter, follow MythLogic. Tweet to them, let them know you appreciate them sponsoring SC2CTL and you'd like them to stick around. That definitely helps spread the love to our sponsors and makes them come back. Railthon. Thank you, Geedon, for that phonetical pronunciation.
Okay. There we go.
Also, thanks for everyone joining us in chat.
Absolutely.
And communicating with us. We appreciate it. You know, the biggest thing, too, feedback is super important. We've, over the year, over the first season and into the second season, have changed, modified, adjusted several things based on user feedback, so we appreciate that. While you're on Twitter, tweet any feedback you may have about the stream or the casting or the league or anything to SC2CTL, Galgation, or Wingnut SC.
Those are all ways to get a hold of us, indeed. All right, I am back in the game. I am back set up here, so let me read these bios. Who we got here? We got Railthon and Rigor. All right, so from Seed Gaming, we've got Rigor. His real name is Igor Korbatov, and I apologize if I murdered that. Started playing in 2010 when the game was released. He's enjoyed the competition and the cool community that is embodied in the game. He achieved a Grandmaster in previous seasons, but admits that he hasn't put concentrated effort into his training recently. In the 2011 Orlando MLG, he got to the 5th round of the losers bracket and has also won some Zeke community tournaments. He hopes to be able to showcase his unorthodox style to capture the heart of many fans and show admirable games. So commendable there. And let's see, we've got Railthon from 440, and I do not have a bio on him, unfortunately, so I will not be able to introduce you to him appropriately.
Anyone that's watching from 440, if you want to give us some tidbits that'd be awesome. But I think with that, we'll jump on into game number 5.
That's right.
Hover that finger over the P button, Galgation.
Yes, sir.
3, 2, 1, and play. All right, jumping on into game number 5, old school fashion, with each of us running our own replay on our own computer on Overgrowth LE in the upper right-hand corner, wearing the blue carapace representing Root Seed. His name is Rigor.
And in the bottom left corner, in the orange carapace from 440 Gaming, it is Railthon.
I do love that name. It kind of reminds me of 007 things. Moonrakers, for some reason. Don't ask me why Railthon makes me think of Moonrakers, but it does.
Okay. Well, there you go. So 2 ZVZs in a row here. It's kind of unorthodox, it seems.
Ooh, double gastric coming out here for Railthon. Sitting at 12 of 10 drones. What have we got here?
I actually really like this build. I think it's a lot of fun. But we will see what happens.
I'm suspecting a 12 pool off of a double gastric. Maybe. Or really early
he got
expansion.
that Overlord first, so
Yeah.
he is not going to be doing that right away. At least if he is, it's delayed.
And now is at 18 supply, putting down spawning pool at 12 still.
Yep. And once again, Geedon coming through. Railthon is a former random player who ended up sticking to Zerg once he hit Masters. He says he's not a standard player, takes a lot of influence from cats in life. He's a very strong Masters player and apparently is the destroyer of worlds. So we'll see if he lives up to that name and if this map is still in the pool once he's finished with it.
Yes, absolutely. So it looks like Rigor is going to be going for the expansion, while Railthon going for the spawning pool. So sort of similar-ish build as last time, only not the same at all, as the gas is finishing up just as the spawning pool is finishing up as well. So the gas things and timings will be delayed slightly. But 6 Zerglings coming out from Railthon right out the gates, as well as a Queen. So he's going to try and poke away at those while he mines some gas to get speed going up. But Rigor is looking like he's going to have his expansion up pretty well himself here, but still his spawning pool is half done. That was freaking me out a little bit. It was hidden behind the name bar there. His gas is finishing up as well, immediately putting 3 total drones in it. So the gas of Railthon going to be a little bit ahead of Rigor, so if he gets that speed timing out with, as Galligation said, that 12 spawning pool with the double gastric is pretty cool build.
Mm-hmm.
Baneling
Nest
Nest.
are coming across the map
Nest.
right now. Yeah, not wasting any time, not even getting speed.
Nope. Banelings all the way. So this could work out pretty well as Railthon's actually doing the same exact thing. Baneling Nest coming down as well, only his just starts as the Baneling Nest is finishing for Railthon. So Zergling's poking away at the natural expansion of Rigor as some lings pop out for Rigor.
And great control here by Railthon, not wanting to lose any of the lings just yet. Bunching up together with the other ones and trying to get a quick poke in. But now Banelings are in morphing, but Rigor sees that right away and continues to stream these lings in. If he's not careful, he's going to lose all of these.
Yes, he is. Allegation. 1 Baneling does go down. 2 Banelings go down. 3 Banelings go down. So Railthon actually losing quite a few there and a couple good connections. So
Yeah.
He definitely didn't get the impact he wanted to with 3 of those Banelings being killed before they were even morphed out. So, but that's a really risky play on the part of Rigor because he did not exactly see when those started morphing.
That's right. And yeah, I mean, even though a lot of those got killed, you still get decent refunds from those. I mean, it's not complete. You lose 6 of each, but
Yeah.
I mean, he ended up killing like 8 or 10 Zerglings there, so that's not too terrible.
Yeah, Rigor is going to be in a pretty good position here as he does have a Spine Crawler and a Queen at the natural expansion. So Railthon is not going to be able to push up in here all that much, especially without speed, but the numbers of lings for Rigor is... Oh, huge connection by Rigor on the Zerglings of Railthon, losing it looked like about 10 or 11 there. So Rigor definitely getting back in the lead.
Oh, absolutely. He's been having some great connections and also denying connections from his opponent by sending single lings up. Took out 2 Banelings that way, and Railthon's got to be kind of kicking himself for his somewhat sloppy control there.
Speed now is just about to wrap up for Railthon, but his numbers of Zerglings are very, very low due to that big connection that was there. But now Rigor is going to be preparing to move up into the base of Railthon. These are 2 very hard names to say right back to back to each other.
And Railthon has 0 Banelings in his main base. Rigor was able to kind of scope that out. There are no spine crawlers. There is a single queen. And it looks like Railthon is giving chase to these lings and is going to have metabolic boost right now.
That speed giving such an advantage there, really allowing the lings of Railthon to get the advantage on those of Rigor, but his speed is just about to finish up as well, so that advantage will be lost. There's a Spine Crawler and a Queen out front here, going to take some pokes away at those lings. Nice split by Railthon. Banelings are there, but can't decide where to go.
And they kind of get juked all around. Good connection on one, though. Takes about 5 lings out, and the other 2 are going to get cleaned up without having to use the second Baneling.
Yeah, Railthon really trying to do his best to take advantage of his build here, not really seeing a way out of it. He's just all in for the win, and right now not going his way.
Not at all. Rigor is starting to get the defenses up that he needs, that he wants, and Railthon's just still hoping for good connections, hoping for good engagements, but unfortunately is kind of getting pushed out time and time again.
Another Baneling trying to make its way down the ramp. Doesn't really get much of a connection there. 2 Zerglings do go down. Railthon really trying to do the best he can. Another connection by another Baneling taking out a few more Zerglings. Every Zergling counts for Railthon right now because his economy is not doing well compared to Rigor's. 1 more Baneling does go down, taking out 3 more Zerglings. So Rigor now going to be able to kind of stabilize here as the ling numbers for Railthon really suffering.
And Railthon just doesn't have the income right now to be able to kind of support this move, although he's only a couple of drones behind his opponent at the moment, but is putting down. He was only on the 1 base. He is now getting a second, and Rigor, seeing a lull in the excitement, decides to drone up a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Railthon may have tried to attempt to stick that out a little bit longer than he should have, but to be honest, with what he did quite a lot, getting quite a bit of damage done, keeping Rigor down to the same drone count. But the ability of Rigor to continue to produce more drones with that extra hatchery canceled hatchery at the natural expansion of Railthon.
And Rigor continues to move in, doing big damage. Railthon does have a Baneling come out, but again, great control by Rigor, is not able to get a good connection, and that Queen is taking heavy damage, is forced to go back, but there are enough lings to chase Rigor's out.
Another nice connection there on the ramp for Rigor.
And Rigor really using this opportunity to get a great drone lead. He now has double the drones of his opponent.
Yeah, and a huge number of Zerglings spawning now for Rigor as well. 20 were in production just a moment ago. So definitely that economy and the extra production is starting to take its effect. But there are a couple Banelings of Railthon right here in this engagement. If he gets a connection, it could take... Oh, all the Banelings of Rigor almost evaporate there, and Railthon still just trying to make a go with this as much as he can.
Rigor continuing to make Zerglings out of both of his hatcheries, and is also getting his armor upgrade for his ground units, so he's going to again have a little bit of a forward position in terms of upgrades. Now Banelings being morphed at the bottom of the ramp to the natural, but Railthon is not far behind with Banelings of his own.
And Railthon really trying to secure this natural expansion here and keep it. There are a huge number of Zerglings coming across the map from Rigor, but a very large number of Banelings from Railthon, but sending in them one at a time from Rigor. Is he going to get a huge connection there? Not too bad, 1 for 1. Not what you would want, but Banelings just walking right on by the natural expansion, heading for the drone line of Railthon. If he can get a connection here, oh, going on the Queen, not what you would exactly want, but if he can get a huge connection on these drones that are all bunched up.
And one doesn't really connect with much of anything, but the Queen does go down, and there's the GG.
GG. Oh, another exciting ZVZ. These matches, from what we've seen so far today, we have not seen, we've seen some very aggressive, intense ZVZs, and I just love seeing that because they're a pleasure to watch, a pleasure to cast. And man, I mean, you play Zerg. Tell me, how do you feel after an intense ZVZ like that? Do you have to just stand up and take a walk?
Well, I mean, like, one of those, it's just, it's somewhat disheartening because, you know, the connections were somewhat one-sided, it felt like. You know, Rigor was just able to get huge connections, was really able to shut down Railthon's, his Banelings, and, you know, so the trades weren't very even, and Railthon was really kind of committing to that heavy push, and by the time he wanted to get that expansion, Rigor had already mounted a solid defense, was pushing on an offense, and was having a really hard time or securing his natural base. So not the best situation for Railthon, but for a great game from both players. It's always fun to watch huge Baneling connections like that and see games kind of sway one direction or the other with those high-risk, high-reward units.
Yeah, and of all of the builds I like to see in ZVZ, it's where the one player goes for the pool and one player goes for the macro, because that's where you really see that control, because the macro player really has to have that and control it excessively well, which, yeah, it seemed like Railthon may have slipped on a little bit earlier in the game, but he really pulled it back in, because, I mean, the Banelings and speed were out much faster for his opponent, and that's really hard to deal with.
Yep, absolutely.
So moving on into our next game, but before we do that, we're going to take a 30-second break here to run a quick commercial and get set up. So stick with us for just a moment, and we'll be right back.